Welcome back to the shop. We're working on the Chevy again today. Surprise, surprise.
Hey Mom, look, the boys are back in town.
The dogs want to say hello. Hello, dogs. Say hello. Alrighty. Today is the day that we're hoping to have this transmission taken care of. So what we have here is the transmission cooler. That's going to go right down in there. The brackets for it are right there. And then down on that rail, the open holes there. So we're going to have a line for the transmission come into that side there. This line is going to go up, and I'll show you on the other truck because it's kind of hard to get up in there since we still have this puppy on jacks. But transmission is in, the bell housing bolts are in, the torque motor bolts are in, the T-case is bolted up. We're almost there. So everything, as y'all saw in the last videos, is put together. So now we're going to do wiring. In today's video, we're going to do the wiring, we're going to do the radiator, and the AN lines. So right there, and then it bolts up right here, right here. Tanner's working on something else. Y'all will see that later in another video. And then that's where it's going to plug into the radiator. So that one is going to go back to the transmission. That hole comes up, the line goes in on the passenger side, and then the driver's side comes out and goes to the transmission. My wife calls. Oh, we have the transmission line run. You're going to go to this top fitting. This top fitting is going to go to this line and then run to, like I said, the left side here. We're actually going to take the right side off because I have AN lines coming. So this will go to the transmission, and the transmission, we have another line coming off another port, and that'll go to the bottom one down there. If it'll focus, yep, right down and plug into there. So we're going to need to take a wrench, get that off. But first I'm going to get this line run, get this off, get this installed into here, so that way we're waiting on Amazon. And that is all we're waiting on. I don't know where Tanner went, but he was working over there. But yeah, that's all we're waiting on today. So let's get this stuff installed. Well, in that time lapse, I don't know if y'all saw it, but we cranked it up just to make sure everything was running right. And you know what? You know, little thing that we didn't have. What don't we have yet, Tanner?
Transmission lines.
Well, we do. It's just pointed right in the cab. So as soon as that sucker cranked up, it went quick, and squirted transmission fluid all over myself, all over Tanner, all over the truck.
Did you just about call me trans?
Trans. The transmission that we're working on with Tanner. So, it works. There's no grinding on the flywheel, which we had an issue with a little bit ago. Yeah, so we're good. Trying to get this off, soaking it in PB Blaster. As you can see, it's discolored, rusted. Might have to get a new one, but that's okay. So now we just wait for AN lines. Where are you, Amazon? Where are you?
Not under here.
Oh, okay. Check that one off the list. Where are you, Amazon? Amazon has delivered. Now what we have here is the transmission cooler. So it comes stock with what I showed y'all earlier. The little rod pops out, the little clip pops out, and then the pipe goes in, put the clip back in, holds it in place. What we're switching out is we're going from that to an AN line fitting to make it a little bit easier to run these lines if there is any issues. These are just steel braided lines, so they'll just all screw together, screw in there, and they'll run from the front of the truck where I showed y'all and took out the other ones down to actually that pinch transmission line right there. There's 2 of them. So I'm gonna get all this set up. I'm gonna get this mounted back up front, just shove the lines down and then run them to the transmission. Makes it pretty easy, pretty simple. I believe this kit was this was $50 or $60. AN line set was $40. It comes with all the adapters you need. So somewhere, we'll call it ballpark 100, 120 bucks, because that was bent on the last one. And then we also have something new. New. But let's get this taken care of. Tanner came to see us with his bad hip. So we had to pivot. The AN lines are 9/16 going in, and they don't have any 9/16 to 9/16. But we got the AN lines in. So they run to the transmission. We'll have to run them to the intercooler. This is what's going to come out. It's a 19. And then the replacement is in the kit that we ordered. So now we're waiting on more parts. Story of my life.
Yay.
Well, I finally got the 9/16 to 9/16 fittings in. There they are right there. And we have these just run pretty much along the frame rail all the way down to the back to the transmission. Oh my gracious, Papish, hello. And it runs all the way straight in. So I am going to attach them together. I have some of those rubber tightening things that you can tighten down, patch it together, and then that way they're attached but not touching on anything, because we don't want these rubbing on anything, because we don't want them busting at all. So they run up over the cross member, over the steering. I'm going to attach them somewhere in there, and then they run up, and they're the exact length they need to be to attach to there. So we're going to count these as done. Now what we need to work on is getting into there and getting some wiring done. Let's get it all apart. With the transmission lines taken care of, we're gonna move to my favorite part, wiring. So I'm gonna save you all the hassle and like the watch, and we'll go over things as they come up. But this block is gonna go to the fuse block. That's gonna plug in. That's gonna be the very first thing that I plug in. And then as I pull things out of the, or pull wiring plugs, I'll replace them from there to there. First starting with the fuse block, and then keep working down with it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this whole thing up, take it off, and then we're gonna go down into the wiring, and it goes down under the motor and then runs to the transmission as well. I'm gonna put you all on a time lapse for this because it's probably gonna take me, I'm gonna say a few hours, just depending on wiring, depending on plugs, depending on this, depending on that. Dog, I just put that there. Yeah, let's get at it. Well, I thought I was taking a freaking time lapse. Turns out I didn't. What y'all missed. This is the old wiring harness. This plugs underneath the fuse box. Like I previously said, you're gonna have this one that goes straight to the fuse box. You're gonna have this one that goes underneath, this one that goes underneath and clips down there. I've already sealed it, so I'm not gonna pop it back open. This one is gonna run over to here. You're gonna have a long one with a gray plug that's gonna go to, I believe that's an ignition module, because it goes into the cab. And like I said, I'm just doing this plug by plug, literally. I've switched out the computers. I've got the new one plugged up. It's actually probably a good thing we're replacing this wiring harness, because I'm seeing a lot of damage that's popping up right in here. There's a few wires that are like snapped and stuff. So, I mean, the truck ran great as a manual. I mean, it didn't have any misfires or anything. So this is to mitigate the issue of shifting. An automatic transmission reads off of the computer, and the computer says, hey, you need to shift now in the first, second, third, fifth, whatever. So this is the wiring harness that we pulled out of the parts truck over there. That had a 4L80E with a manual T-case on it, which this will be a manual T-case. And then the only other issue that I foresaw was there is a couple wires that are cut on my new wiring harness, wherever it is. We're just gonna address that as it comes. It looks like it's a good bit of wires too. That's the terrifying part. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's a good bit of wires. So I don't know where that goes. We're gonna find out. It looks like it's going, if I had to take a guess, it's gonna be, that's the old ECU right there. If I had to take a guess, it's going somewhere down in here. But alrighty, it's been about an hour, getting closer. We've made it over the actual engine, got ignition. It's a big dog nap day. Ignition injectors, injectors are all plugged back in. Mass airflow, it's over there. Throttle is plugged back in. Alternator, all the other little parts and pieces are plugged back in and ready to rock and roll. Now, here's going to be the tricky part. You see this one here? That's going to the transmission. I have to unplug these like three or four down, like way down in there. Yeah, like past this. And then there's one over here that I'll have to unplug. But other than that, it's going really well. And then that side will just go straight down. We're getting places, that is for sure. It's just good gracious, it takes forever. It's been about another hour, so I'm gonna hop out of here, grab me something to drink, and get back to it. Yippee! Wiring harness is done. We have it completely done from the fuse box. This truck is so tall. From the fuse box all the way to the injectors, all the way back to the transmission, all the O2 sensors, everything is plugged in as needed. The only issue that I have right now is tomorrow morning I'm going to solder some pieces together, which y'all will see, and then we're going to work on the shifter linkage. It's a new day out here. Since we have our wiring harness finished, I went ahead and did all the soldering wiring for those 14 wires going down below. Now we're working on the shifter cable. So I was going to do just something custom right up in there, but I was like, you know what? That seems a little difficult. So for 30 bucks, I just went with the stock shifter cable. It's going to run. Then we also found some other little bits that kind of scared me when I pulled it up. But it's going to run straight to the plug right here. I'm going to show you all there's literally a groove, and it goes up into the dash. And then we'll switch out this steering column with that steering column. That steering column has a ball on the side of it, which this will run to, which I can show y'all. Pretty simple. Plugs are all the same on that as well. But yeah, that'll run to that ball right there and just hook right to it. Once that hooks in, we'll be able to put it in park, reverse, drive, neutral, whatever. Off this connects all the way at the end. We'll connect to wherever that piece there goes over the frame rail, bends over, and then that will snap straight into the transmission. I went with the stock because that was going to be a lot of fabricating and bending and all that, and I'm really ready to get this thing going. Really ready to get this thing going. So we're gonna keep working on that a little bit. I'll throw you all on a time lapse and we'll see where we get. We did get that line run from the transmission. You can't really see it on this side, but I got the park neutral switch on there with the 11-pin plug, and then got it in and got the cord, got the shifter linkage in, but I do have to add this piece, which, there you go, this piece with a new ball on there on the very end to attach our transmission side to the shifter cable up to our new assembly here. So I just went ahead and ordered a new one after doing the research. I was like, you know what? This one's rusted. It's kind of looking a little crazy. So we're just going to go with a new one. So I ordered a new one, new shift boot, new shift, I guess, handle, shift assembly. This is a safety mechanism somehow. And then I also went ahead with a new ignition and keys and 2 lock, I guess they're not actuators, but 2 locks for there, because this side doesn't even have it, and I know that side is broken, and the ignition is tough to get in because it has the button ignition, and it's finicky to get it in and out and get it running. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together and get it, I guess we should be able to get it all together, attach it there for our transmission cable that we've already run, and then I got to figure out how this sucker goes on, and I'll let you know as soon as I find out. We're switching gears. Get it? Shifting gears, switching gears. So we're going to do, like I said, we're still going to do a new set of this, new ignition, but that mount, I just don't trust it, and it's just 4 bolts, the bolt through the end, and a couple of clips, and everything that I've looked at is completely the same over here. I already put that new ignition in too. So I'm gonna actually switch out the whole thing, which is pretty simple. Just pull your three bolts off that. You're gonna pull that gasket out, undo the tail end, and then you got a bolt over here, bolt over yonder, and you got the 2 bolts all the way back in there. Your plug's gonna be right there. You can see it unplugged. You're gonna have that yellow one down in there, and you're gonna have this one over the OBD2 right in here that you're gonna, up through here. That one's gonna be unplugged as well. And then the whole thing slides out, the new one slides in, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And the wheels are straight. We're gonna keep that in mind when we put the new one in. But yeah, as much as I hate that, oh well, it'll be okay. We'll make it work. All right, let me get these pulled apart. When you come over there, you don't even have to take that cover off. Down here, you'll see the nut, the bolt going through. You just gotta undo that. Easy as that. So we got the old one out. There's actually a linkage right here. So we're gonna have to pop this one out and slide it on there, and then slide it all the way back through. Old one's out. We're gonna get the older one to go in, which, like I said, all these plugs line up and everything, so we're just gonna reduce, reuse, and recycle. Isn't that right, dog? And with the new steering column in, as you see, we got the old bolt holes there. We got the bracket over there, so I'm gonna pull that cable. There's a little housing that needs to go into that bracket. I got the nipple on the other side of that, which is what this will go to. That will go to the other side of the shifter. So I'm going to put it all together and then we'll circle back and I'll talk about everything. Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Got the shifter in, got our plugs here, and the yellow one back behind the parking brake. We have our whole assembly in. Look at that. So we have, this is a park neutral. Make sure that when your foot's on the brake that it'll go into drive. Whatever shifter cable is going to be on this side. Like I said, I swapped that solenoid out. Or solenoid, that solenoid thread, something or other. Ran our yellow wire to the existing yellow wire. It was already plugged in, but somebody had cut it. And then on top, this gray piece is, the truck's in park right now. That gray piece slides off. There's a yellow plug that plugs into it, but that gray piece sits. Let's see if I can find it. It goes, it slides in right there. You can see two indentions where it clips on, but when the truck is in park, that little lever gets engaged, and I'm guessing that's a neutral switch or something as well. Yep, right there. You can see it right in there. So I'm gonna slide this ignition in and start covering things back up. Yeah. So I'm gonna get this covered up. I got a battery on a trickle charger because it was dead, and I guess it's time to fire this thing out. Let me get that covered up, ignition in, and the battery charged, and I'll see y'all in a minute. Wow, it has been, I mean, a good month since I've been back at this truck. That's why there hasn't been any videos posted very recently. Well, where we left off, yes, even though that was just a second ago, got that all taken care of. I just haven't covered it up because I got a weird ignition thing going on. Every time I turn the key, I don't have anything. No crank, no start. Super weird. Still trying to figure that out. I ordered a drive shaft. It's a 2-link drive shaft just off Rock Auto. I think it was like $400 or $500. But the slip yoke was the wrong size. If you notice on this one, it's a little bit skinnier than this one. This is a 246 GM T-case under there. That does not go to a 246. That goes to something a lot larger, which I'm assuming is most likely an Allison transmission. If I had to take a wild guess, I ain't no mechanic. That's to a 246. So we're just gonna swap those out real quick. As you can see, there's snap rings in the top of them. Pull the snap rings out. I have a front end tool for a tie rod puller. I just hooked it, pushed it through. We're going to grab vice grips, pull that off, and then we're going to slide that off, slide the new one on, slide it in. It's already attached in the back over here, as you can see through the leaf spring. Got the carrier bearing there. That's the last piece I need. So I can finally have this whole drive line assembled. And that is where we're going to end this video. So let me get this swapped out, and then I'll meet you under the truck. Well, that was a whole lot harder than it had to be. Good gracious. So, like I said, the spline, the existing one was a lot bigger than that one, like I showed y'all. But then I figured out that the U-joint was a different size. It was a 1450 or 1410 to a 1350. Yeah, 1410 to 1350. So we got those, the U-joints pressed out, got the new ones pressed in. That will just spline right into the T-case. But that's a tomorrow problem. Me and the dogs gotta go get dinner. Ain't that right, boy? Ain't that right? So we're gonna go get some dinner. We'll see y'all tomorrow. We're here to conclude this video. So y'all just watched me put in that drive shaft, and that was about, again, a month ago. I've been working a lot, and I've been getting really fed up with this truck, man. You put it in the drive, reverse, neutral, park, whatever. It wouldn't go anywhere. It was a quart or two low, maybe, on ATF fluid. but it is moving under its own weight. Like I said, that's going to conclude today's video. Y'all keep watching. We're going to keep working on this thing. It's so frustrating, but we're going to keep working on it because I need something else to drive. This thing's a lot louder than that. Y'all, thanks for watching. You can come back and see us and the dogs at Chevy.